Welcome to the 24th floor. I'm Richard Denson alongside Ruben Diaz. We're less than a month away from the NBA draft, so we figured for this episode, we just go all in on the draft since that's what all the noise is about in the Mid-South.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's so much talk about what's going to happen. I like the fact that not everybody knows everything yet. It's good. The Grizzlies hold 3 important picks in the draft, talking about number 3, number 16, and then 32, and how Memphis handles those could have a big impact on the future of the Grizz.
Yes, the next era, we call it the next gen, the grit and grind. So to help us break it all down, we're joined by a guest you all may have seen here on 24 Plus, but he's making his debut on the 24th floor. He's one half of the Locked On Grizzlies podcast, Mr. Joe Mullinax. Joe, welcome to the show, my guy. I had to clap it up.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm excited to be here. I'm bummed out my buddy DeMichael can't be here with us, but he's busy. He's a busy guy. So excited to be here. I really enjoy Locked On Grizzlies. I've been covering the team for over a decade now, podcasting and blogging and all that stuff. So this is a great opportunity, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
Covering them for more than a decade, you have seen a lot of good and bad with the Grizz.
Yeah, Nick Calathis. I know who Nick Calathis is.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that follows
Florida
the Grizzlies,
legend,
nowadays,
University of Florida legend. Yeah. All right, Joe, let's start with the biggest question surrounding this franchise right now. What should Memphis do with pick number 3?
Cam Boozer.
I think
we're overthinking this. I think we're overthinking this a little bit. I think that Caleb Wilson, if he is the choice, and I know we'll probably talk a little bit more about him here in a moment. I think if he is the pick, that makes sense. I'm not going to go on Locked On Grizzlies and completely trash the selection. But I do think that when you have a player the caliber of Cam Boozer, who is younger by a year than Caleb Wilson and half a year compared to the other top prospects in this draft, we're overthinking this. This is somebody who is being compared offensively to Nikola Jokic. He has a game that can do so much in terms of the skill set that he has. But for me, guys, after watching a lot of losing basketball the last year or two, I like the fact that this guy has won everywhere he's been. From high school through college, he was a miracle shot away from getting Duke to the Final Four. This guy is a winner. And I think that the Memphis Grizzlies need as many winners as they can get. So when you couple the basketball skill, the pedigree, he has literally been built for this and trained for this his entire young adult life. And now we're on the precipice of being able to select him number 3 overall. I've argued on the podcast, 3 is the best pick in the draft because there's 3 guys at the top of this thing, and you get the one that's left. So Zach Kleiman, GM of the Grizzlies, he can't get blamed. Hey, I took the guy that was on the board that was left behind, right? And most mock drafts suggest that Boozer will be the guy. So I think that we're overthinking this a little bit. There's certainly an upside swing that you can talk about with Caleb Wilson, but we have to remember that Cam Boozer won't even be 19 on draft night. You'll be drafting an 18-year-old. So I'm a Cam Boozer guy. That would be my pick at 3.
Well, you and I are the same, Joe. I've been saying for a while that Cam Boozer, in my opinion, was the best pick to take in that spot. We had a little bit of conversation about if Darren Peterson happened to be available at the 3 spot, if they should take him over Cam. But man, that just everything.
That wouldn't be in that situation. Cam would be gone because he'd be taking the top 2.
In what I'm saying though is like in my mind, there wasn't a scenario where I didn't think Cam Boozer was a great fit for Memphis for what they need and what he does.
Offensively, he's the perfect fit to me of all of the options because you could argue he's a better point guard or point forward than Darren Peterson is in terms of the current skill set, his ability to read defenses, that point forward capacity. Imagine the Zach Edey, Cam Boozer pick and roll. Like that's something that can happen. Imagine the mismatches you can create. And if you're moving on from the Ja Morant era, and it looks more and more likely, depending on how the draft goes, of course, things could get shaken up. But if Ty Jerome is your bridge, and he's more of a scoring guard anyway that can play the point, why not run more of your offense through Cam Boozer, who showed at Duke that he has the capacity to make good decisions with the ball in his hands. He can shoot the 3 at a high clip. Defensively, the fit is not as clean. I'll acknowledge that. There are no perfect prospects. But in terms of offensive fit, for a Grizzlies team that, in my opinion, has 2 guys that are bona fide starters on the next great version of this team, and that's Zach Edey and Cedric Coward, when you need three different things, and Cam Boozer is sitting right there ready to be a contributor from day one, and not just a contributor, he could be an all NBA caliber player in this league as a modern point forward type. Again, I think we're overthinking this a bit.
Now, exactly. You talk about overthinking, and obviously you know about around this time of the year is trades and everything. I'm sure you've seen the noise on Twitter. Zach Kleiman has never traded down in his life since being the Grizzlies GM, but there's been rumors that maybe the Thunder packaged their 2 picks to move up and get Cam Boozer, which would make sense for the Grizzlies at 3. Could you see a world where the Grizzlies take the Thunder's 2 picks and maybe a Jalen Williams for Cam Boozer, or is Cam Boozer that much of a can't-miss talent that you don't do it?
We talked about this on Locked On Grizzlies a couple of shows ago. Here's where I stand on it, fellas. Could you make an offer that logically makes sense for number 3? Yes. I think that you can make that offer. It has to start with a J-Dub or a Chet Holmgren. Has to start there. I think it has to include multiple first-round picks. And at some point, you get to the level of this where you remember where you are, right? We're talking Memphis, Tennessee. We're talking about a place where the last era of Grizzlies basketball was built on the backs of 3-star players that were drafted in Memphis. 4, if you want to include Brandon Clark, rest in peace. But Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, John Morant, all drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. And all this smoke and mirrors about players not wanting to play in Memphis, that's only true of the guys that haven't ever actually lived in and played for Memphis. Most of those guys, as you guys well know, when they are selected by the Memphis Grizzlies and you feel the love that Memphis gives to those players, they love the city. They invest in the city. They make their homes in the city. You don't react the way that Desmond Bane reacted, the way that Jaren Jackson Jr. reacted when they got traded. You don't react that way if you hate the city that you were playing for, right? So for me, that number 3 pick is a chance to, once again, Zach Edey, drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. Cedric Howard, drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. You bring in a young player who, to be honest, never experienced the Los Angeles Lakers, never experienced the Miami Heat or the Brooklyn Nets or these other big markets, and they feel the love that the city has. Memphis is imperfect, but Memphis also has so many beautiful things about it that these NBA players, when they're drafted by the team, brought into the city, they feel it, they see it, they experience it. It would take an awful lot, more even than what OKC has in this current draft, plus their current stars. It would take more than that for me to move on from 3, because I believe in whoever is going to be available that much that they can be that next superstar for the team.
I agree. I know we got to take a break, so we have more NBA to talk about, more draft to talk about, but I think you kind of summed it up perfectly. 3 is kind of the magic spot. And you don't get it very often. I don't know that I'd trade it away either.
Yeah, it's the best problem to have because you can just sit tight and just let the board do what it is. All right, Joe, we'll stay right here because still ahead on the 24th floor, the Grizzlies have 2 more draft picks to figure out.
Yeah, we got to shift our focus to pick number 16 and whether Memphis should look for immediate help or take another swing at maybe a star for the future. We'll talk about it when we come back.